All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pastrami Nation podcast. My name is Nolan. I am the editor and co-founder of Pastrami Nation. We are the meat of pop culture. I am excited because we have a special interview today. We are talking about a very cool Kickstarter that is up right now, and we have Bryan Adams from the Nacelle Company with us today.
Hello.
And I'm so excited. Bryan's a fantastic guy. Nacelle's awesome. Welcome, Bryan.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Nice to see you again. I just saw you a few days ago.
Right. Yeah. Comic-Con was absolutely amazing.
That's right.
But you guys always have so much going on, so many amazing things. Of course, like at Comic-Con, you had the awesome Star Trek set up. As soon as you walk into the booth, you're like, whoa, that thing is huge. And it's just, if you haven't dropped by Nacelle at a comic convention, you're missing out. It's one of the best experiences you'll have in a very crowded con. So
Thank you.
definitely go check it out.
It wasn't
Now,
this year.
oh man, I took my wife there for the first time ever for her, and yeah, it was overwhelming. She had done WonderCon before and Rose City, but this is a totally different beast. This was my Comic-Con was my first con I ever did 23 years ago, so I'm used to it. But her big highlights were, of course, Bandai and you at Nacelle. You two really made the experience special for her. So, if you haven't checked them out at con, make sure you do it.
Appreciate
they're
that.
awesome people.
I love Bandai as well. I really do. I'm not joking.
They're really cool. Yeah.
Great.
Shout out to Justin and David. They super cool guys. Justin made a comment on social media the other day. He's like, I'm probably the only vegetarian here that supports Pastrami Nation. And we're like, yeah. Yeah, he's fantastic. But today we're talking about a very special Kickstarter. So it's a partnership between you and Oni Press, and it is the art of the toys that made us. Of course, the toys that made us is an amazing series that you can stream, and it jumps into the history of everybody's favorite toy lines. So from Masters of the Universe, Hot Wheels, Biker Mice from Mars, it covers all of that. And there's multiple seasons of it. So why choose Kickstarter to make this art book collection come to life?
Well, we're noticing more and more that, fan engagement with everything that we do is kind of, I don't want to say the secret sauce because it's not really a secret, right? But it's one thing that really makes a lot of our campaigns, whether it be a new show or a new toy line, fan engagement is so key to everything that we do. We really try to be a fan facing company. Like we're fans ourselves, right? And so we try to do things that feel like they're, at least made for the fans, that it's keeping the fans in mind. And Kickstarter is one of those platforms that's so fan friendly because you're not only are you backing a project, but you feel part of like that project's, lifespan. You feel part of the reason that thing came to life, right? Hence the Kickstarter name. So I think that's the reason that, us and Oni Press thought, this is a way to really engage the fans in anticipation of the new episodes, and make them feel really part of the brand and part of the story, and give them something that a lot of people have been asking us for a long time.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I agree. Like Kickstarter is that platform that you're putting in the hands of the fans and you're saying, do you want to see this happen?
Mm-hmm.
We have a reoccurring column called Let's Kickstart This, where we spotlight Kickstarters, and we've been doing it for 10 years now. And it's so cool to see fans say like, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
Or I want to see that happen. So it's super cool. And I know some people are like crowdfunding, well, how do you know you're going to get it? So I'm going to go ahead and say right now that with the Nacelle Company and Oni Press, who I've been a fan of, purchased items from years and years, what they say they're going to do, they deliver. This is not a risk. This is, you are going to get what you pledge, and it's probably going to be far better than you can expect. Personally, I already pledged for the art books as well as the Oni Nacelleverse hardcover, and I don't want people to miss out because it's not your traditional store. It's a Kickstarter, but these are two companies that are extremely reliable, and you have nothing to worry about, everybody.
Yeah, that's really nice of you to say. I mean, we're already backed. So, thankfully we're already backed. These things are getting made. And, even with our toys, we take a lot of pride into what we're actually delivering to people. There's been times even when we've had to slightly delay, a toy line because of QC issues, of things that we wanted to make sure were top quality for, and really to give the fans what they paid for. So, at the end of the day, the same applies to everything that we do, whether it's docs or comics or now an art book. We really take it seriously because, like I said earlier, we're fans too. And we're as excited to see this thing come to life as a lot of the people that come up to us at cons and they're like, I love the show and yada yada. We are as excited to see this thing, to give birth to this thing, I should say. So we could not have partnered with a better company than Oni, guiding us through this whole Kickstarter process. They're really experts at this. It's something that we don't really do often at Nacelle. But with them at the helm, kind of helping us make those educated decisions, it's really been such an easy, I don't want to say easy process, but a fun process and not something that feels too daunting.
Absolutely. Now we talked about, of course, it's going to be, you have two art books for the art of the toys that made us, and there's also like the Nacelle hardcover for the Nacelleverse. What else can people expect from that Kickstarter? Because I know there's a lot of other things in there. I just don't want to give them away myself.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in there. So if a lot of people we assume are big collectors, right? We're all kind of collectors ourselves. So there's a lot of collector centric items in there. A lot of stuff that a little Velcro wallet that says my wallet hates the toys that made us, which is kind of a gag we've been running for the past year or so. We sold some shirts at San Diego Comic-Con with that same that same phrase on it. But that's more kind of low tier stuff. Really more higher tier stuff is my favorite thing we're doing are one of one artist editions of some of our figures. So basically, if you think of the idea of taking a sketch cover to a comic artist at a con and having them sketch on a blank cover for you, making that a one of one for your collection, we're really kind of doing the same thing, but on the toy end here. Some of these artists we work with, like V. Ken Marion and Juan Gedian and Dustin Weaver, are going to be doing one of one sketches on blank boxes. So we're going to deliver them blank Biker Mike boxes, and they'll sketch and color in to whatever their heart desires. Really, you'll be surprised when you get it. But we thought that was something that felt very, very cool for collectors. I personally am a person that likes to get those sketch covers, illustrated on at cons and put those in my collection. I love a good one of one, something that feels unique to my collection. So if you are that type of collector, also this is perfect for you, and especially if you're a Biker Mice fan.
Absolutely. And if you haven't checked out those Biker Mice figures from Nacelle, you're really missing out. Like, awesome articulation. You can get some great poses on those. I had loads of fun posing them and photographing them. They're fantastic. So this is your chance to own not only an amazing figure, but an amazing one of one piece of art with that figure. So that's pretty cool. Now, it's the art of the toys that made us. The Toys That Made Us is, of course, extremely popular series. Dives into all these different franchises. So what were the challenges in taking this really awesome series and translating it into the printed art books? What were your biggest challenges?
Really translating that like signature documentary storytelling style that we do for our docs at Nacelle. That was the hardest part, to translate that style into book form. But going back to our great partners at Oni, I mean, they have fantastic staff that has helped us kind of piece that together in a way where it feels very humorous, very light, but also very informative in the same way that that the docs do. Our CEO Brian Volquist likes to talk about spinach and ice cream, right? Our docs are very much spinach and ice cream, where you're getting that healthy balance of the facts, right? But then you're also getting a little ice cream. You're getting a little fun and some humor kind of with it, right? So we really took the spinach and ice cream ideology in making docs and just translated it into the book as much as we possibly could. And Oni, who are masters at this type of stuff, at building an art book, at building comics and graphic novels, told us, this is where what you're doing right, and this is what you're doing wrong, and this is how to fix what's wrong, and let's keep moving forward, so that, like I said, I think this is the third time I said it, and I'll probably say it a million more times on this interview. They are the best partners. And so they've been fantastic in kind of guiding us into how to achieve that properly.
That's fantastic. No, I really can't wait to see how it all comes out on that printed page, especially being a fan of the series. Like you said, that what you're getting into when you're watching the series.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, are you going to open the book and get that same feeling? So I can't wait to check that out.
We hope so. We think so, but we also hope fingers crossed that we've done our job.
I think it's going to turn out great. Now, with all the behind the scenes, the artwork, photography, and everything, what are some of the most interesting things that we're going to see in there without giving away any like spoilers? What are some of the most interesting things you think we'll see in those volumes?
Yeah, so it's hard to not give away spoilers, but I'm going to do. I can't give away any spoilers because I will get yelled at. But I will say that there's going to be a ton of quote unquote cutting room floor type stuff. So from the episodes that already aired, a la, Transformers and He-Man and Barbie, etc., G.I. Joe, etc., you'll get a lot of stuff that didn't make the full episode. When we make these things, we're cutting to time. We have a very specific time limit for the docs. And so unfortunately, for the first 3 seasons, there are stuff that's left on the cutting room floor, whether it's, concept art or box art or, different little nuggets of information from interviews that, kind of like piece together to tell the larger story. And obviously when you're making a doc, you got to kind of cut out the air, so to speak, to make things tighter. So what this book will do and what you'll get out of it is some of that scoop, some of that cutting room floor stuff that didn't fully make the episode, maybe some information that kind of elaborates on already established facts that we've talked about in previous episodes. And it'll kind of tell the story for the already aired episode. It'll tell the story in a larger form. It'll give you, it'll make the book from 100 pages to 500 pages, basically, so to speak, right, as far as the story. So, and for the episodes that have not aired yet, you'll definitely be getting like a first look and a sneak peek into the process of what that storyline is going to look like. It won't obviously match perfectly because we want you to be surprised when you see these new episodes, but hopefully that answers the question.
I love that because it has that aspect of transmedia, right? Where you can go through each part and still have a satisfying experience, watching it or reading it. But if you do each part of it, you're just building up that experience more and more. So I love that. I love being able to say like, yeah, I've watched that episode and I can dive into here and I have a new experience for, I don't know, the He-Man, the He-Man episode, which I loved. It was fantastic.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm being a lifelong, He-Man fan. Like, man, it was a dream come true. So no, I love that. I love that approach to it. Where you're adding more to it. It's not a rehash. It's a deeper dive into it, because you're right. With your episodes, you're restricted by time. That's just how it is.
Exactly.
So we can't wait to see everything in there,
And just to add to that, this will follow a chronological order of events too. So you'll be able to kind of, in the episodes, sometimes we are following chronologically, but there's times when that doesn't always apply. It will apply fully to this because it helps us kind of keep, stay in track, I guess, as we kind of move along the chronological timeline.
That's fantastic. All right, I got 2 more questions for you, sir.
Awesome.
First up, so I've known Nacelle for quite a bit, and Nacelle has a reputation for really honoring the history of pop culture and action figures. So how does the art of the toys that made us fit into Nacelle's larger mission, and why does it make right now the right time to do this?
I think it's the perfect time to do it because we are currently working on the new episodes. We've unearthed a lot of those old interviews and, to use a term I just used, stuff that was left on the cutting room floor, to piece these together. So as we're working on these new episodes, it felt like an obvious thing to do, right? We're already sifting through all these materials, all these archives of stuff that we've accumulated for many, many years. interviews that we've accumulated for many years, and figured, while we have this stuff and we have an incredible partner with Oni that we're already doing, comic books with, and now trade paperbacks, why not? We have the stuff here. We have the knowledge. We have the information. So it really made sense for us to treat the fans with something that felt like a little appetizer, I guess, before the new episodes came. It's also, like, I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, it is something that fans have been asking for a long time. People have asked us for a variety of things, like they'll want new episodes on subjects that really don't always warrant a full episode, right? They'll say, oh, well, you left this out of the He-Man episode, and you never really talked about this in the G.I. Joe episode. So for those people that have come up to us at booths and panels and said that, this book is literally being made for you, because those are parts of the story that have to be told. We take pride in preserving kind of, or even just showcasing the history of like these incredible franchises, incredible brands that brought so much like nostalgia and joy to our lives, right? So it feels like a way to like tell the story completely and not under a time constraint. And so, I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit here, but back to your question, that's why it felt like the right time to do it, because we're already working on the new episodes. People are already excited about the new episodes. And while we're in the archives and already working on it, why not kind of separate some of that stuff and use it for an art book and use it to tell this larger story, so they all kind of work together.
And right now, with having the amazing partner of Oni, it makes total sense, right? Because Nacelle's known for so many things, and then you bring in somebody like Oni, who's been doing it for so long for comic books and graphic novels. Like, it's a match made in heaven. Like, Nacelle's always been about pop culture, and then you take one of the big indie giants right here and team up with them. So it's the right time. All right. So my last question: if somebody's on the fence about backing this project, what is one thing you would want them to know to try to get them to go check out that Kickstarter page?
There are some really, really cool incentives for people. Like I mentioned earlier, there's some small merch items, there's some medium merch items, there's some of those one-of-one figures, there's some experiential type stuff where you like literally can come to the Nacelle offices and like hang out with us, which is
cool.
I think there's just like one of those available. I don't know what tier it is, but yeah, there's stuff like that that I think is really cool for the right fan. We just came up with this recently and just announced that because so many fans have come up to us over the years and said, how do I get in the Toys That Made Us? I have the biggest so-and-so collection, and you should interview me for the Toys That Made Us. Or I'm the biggest Pokemon fan, and if you ever do a Pokemon episode, I got to be in it. So we wanted to do something special for those people. So we unlocked a special tier where you can actually be interviewed, and there's only one slot per episode. So we have 8 episodes coming in, episodes 4 and 5. There's one slot for each episode for the right backer, where they can actually back this tier and be interviewed in the new season of the Toys That Made Us for whatever episode they back, right? So if you're the biggest Hot Wheels fan and you insist on trying to be interviewed for the Hot Wheels toy episode of the Toys That Made Us, this is probably the only opportunity to do so, is through the Kickstarter. So that's something that is like an interactive fan element that we always really try to bring to what we do. A few years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, we did a giveaway for a voice role in one of our animated series, in Biker Mice, an upcoming animated series we're working on. And that was just a huge thing at Comic-Con that people really enjoyed. So this is almost like our version of that, right? Where we just want to find a way to include fans in the best way that we can. And this seemed kind of obvious based on, like I said earlier, we cannot do a con without one guy coming up to us and being like, I am the biggest so-and-so fan and you need to interview me for this. So if you're that guy, and you are an expert on one of these 8 upcoming episodes, back the Kickstarter, and you will be on camera seeing yourself on the finished final product.
That's fantastic. See, now, I mean, I don't know what all the topics are going to be, but I'll let my brother know because he's like the biggest Snorks fan in the world. So I'll be like, go see if Snorks is on there. But what a cool opportunity. I mean, we all have those passions. Of course, for me, it was He-Man and Ninja Turtles. That's me. That's what I grew up with. That's what I know. Am I going to have the biggest collection? No. But I think it's really cool if somebody can say, like, that's my thing. Like, I want to do this. I want to give it a shot. So
well, I'll name the episodes just in case. So fast food toys, American Greetings. So that's, Mad Balls and My Pet Monster, Strawberry Shortcake, Care Bears, stuff like that. Hot Wheels, Polly Pocket, superhero toys, Pokemon, Nerf, and I always forget one. Ghostbusters.
I knew it wasn't Snorks. Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah. That'll be episode 9. That'll be
the bonus episode that's put in the vault.
Exactly. Yeah. It'll be one of the credits, post-credit, scenes. But
that's a good mix, though. What a really cool mix right there. I mean, and if you're a fan of pop culture, there's something in there that you're going to want to, gravitate towards. For me, Ghostbusters right off the bat, like sounds fantastic. Who doesn't love Ghostbusters? Yeah, but you ran the whole gauntlet of it because, like you said, Polly Pocket. You got Care Bears, you got Hot Wheels. Which who didn't have those growing up? So
Hot Wheels community is rabid. I mean, they're some of the most passionate collectors, and some of the collections that just I've seen with my own eyes are just unbelievable. And I know I haven't seen anywhere near the biggest Hot Wheels collection out there, but yeah, that's one that there's just so much to work with, and obviously they have such a rich history. And the cool thing about Hot Wheels is, like, they're so easily accessible because of their price point, right? So you could be a kid that grew up dirt poor or a kid that grew up with a silver spoon, and odds are you likely collected a Hot Wheel at some point in your life. That's what's so interesting about that brand, because they were just so accessible. They were everywhere. You could have bought a Hot Wheel at 7-Eleven back in the day. You might still be able to, so that's, to me, is what's so interesting about that episode specifically. I mean, that might, that could be a 2-parter if we had to. There's so much.
Right. Yeah, and having worked at Toys R Us way back in the day when they were still around, I've met some of the best and most awesome collectors out there, and heard their stories, and also seen from collectors to families coming in to get, a car each for one of their kids. Like you said, it's accessible to everybody. It's so cool to be able to honor that and to honor something that's been around for so long. And here we are, 2026. And it's still going strong. It's not slowing down one bit.
It's not at all. It's only getting bigger and better. I just saw the K-pop Demon Hunters one at San Diego. Those went crazy. They had a Top Gun exclusive that went crazy. They had the Stranger Things one sold out.
Oh, that's right, the van, yeah.
Yeah. So Hot Wheels is bigger and better than ever, man. I love Hot Wheels.
Right. No, and it sounds like an awesome project. If you are interested in the art of the toys that made us, we have a feature up right now at pastramination.com. Click on that. You'll have some details, but more importantly, you'll have the Kickstarter link in there. Click on that. You can go check it out. Grab one of those 101s if they're still up there. And if not, like I said, I did the 2 art books and the Oni Nacelle Verse collection, because I like having big books on my shelf. I like having something I can, one day when I say I'm bored and I'm not working, never happened, but I can pull something off my bookshelf and be like, what's this? It's just nice to have the.
That's right. I love a good art book. I mean, I got on my shelf, I got so many cool art books, so yeah, I love a good art book. And this one is going to be jam-packed full of cool information, photos that, very little people have seen, if anyone. Stuff pulled directly from Hasbro and Mattel's archives. They've been fantastic to work with on this, and have given us the ability to dig through their archives for this. So I think fans are going to be pleasantly surprised with what they get.
No, I can't wait. So everybody make sure You back the art of the toys that made us. It's on Kickstarter right now. Oni Press and Nacelle Company are the ones that are making this happen. Head over. You can either go to Kickstarter and just search the art of the toys that made us, or you can go to pastramination.com and click right there. And we're going to bring you updates as well as the campaign keeps going, because we want to see what else there is. We want to see what else there is to come. And we also want everybody to be able to have a part of this. So that way you're not like a day too late and you're like, oh, I just heard about it. We don't want that to happen. We want you to be able to get this. Bryan, thank you so much. It's always fantastic to talk to you.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you. It was great seeing you at San Diego, and thank you for helping us support this.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care.
See ya.